So in this fairly outback place in Brazil, a little bit rugged, you got miners, you got stone dealers, and so on, and you met Pedro there. Who else did you meet now?
one of two fellow who sold me stones after 50 years, they are still here. One is called Fifi, and then the other one, Joãozinho. They are also in their 70s. Fifi is still coming up to the U.S. in Tucson, and we talk occasionally. It was in the middle of the plaza, and I'm trying to make my threats. At the most money I have in my pocket, I told myself, this $3,500 the first round, I had to find a way to double it. That was the optimum. I mean, buying for $1, selling for $2. Well, I managed to do that. But at the same time, I also have paid $1 a carat for granite, which is not a good granite in Brazil, called granada and nada. So when I look at the parcel of stone, I ate crow. I mean, this is the second trip. So what I managed, I successfully done, maybe I credit this to my mom with the mental figure, I doubled that money in about 60 days. That means I went back 60 days later with $7,000 cash. Whatever the early $3,500 become merchandise at Chinawest. It was just a very rough money. All I know in my pocket, I got $7,000 cash, which were earned from the first $3,500. So I started the second round of purchase. And from the different colors, the lowest cost, the granite, then the amethyst, then the citrine. In that time, in the 70s, we still have natural citrines in the mines, but later on, the citrine become heated amethyst because the citrine had ran out. So in the gemstones by color, but also gemstones by my purchasing power, then inching up to the next is the huge array of beautiful tourmalines. And then from tourmalines, we have the emeralds, and we have the andalusites, we have the alexandrites, and the more variety, the rich color of the aquamarine, the pink aquamarine, which is pink beryl, I learned to purchase, look at, buy, then you become better articulated. All is a learning curve.
So I know you had a lot of personalities in Tio Filatoni, and one was a guy named Peter Rogers.
Oh, Peter Rogers and I, Peter Rogers, first of all, he's a merchant marine from the U.S., American. His real name is Rodriguez, but the anglicized to Rogers. Well, he and I have shared a long 15 years our office. We share very much the temperament. We are fairly quick temper, fast. We cut the bullshit, cut through the trace, and we become known like as Butch Cassidy and the Sundance, because the two of us is almost like, actually, it's like the two cartoon characters, Jacko and whatever. We will learn how to play, how to balk at the prices, get our bargain, making fun. It was enjoying, delightful. I even have articulated my English in the gem buying area. It was a good 15-year run as a gem merchant. Before any other activity, I eventually gone into the mining end of it, and also the purchasing and the cutting developments I have from Brazil, eventually gone back to Sri Lanka, test run the stones in Kofu, South Korea, and then finally set up my cutting shop in Masai, the northwest part of Thailand, Bangkok, and the gem cutting. But in that early part of the just merchandising, Peter and I had never bought so much stones. When we talk about 5,000 carats, which equal to 1 kilo, when you carry 5 kilos of amethyst in your backpack, and in and out of Brazil, it was amazing. We have a good run, And also have learned from this situation, there's never one stone or one extra money or penny left on our table not accountable for. Even somebody left a stone by accident, an aquamarine that came worth a couple $100, the stone would be put in a plastic bag, weighted, amount written, and nailed it to the board. And we expected people to come back. If they lost, here's yours. So I think that is a raw it's a raw data of meticulousness, cleanliness. We have our disagreements and arguments because I also buy from Peter, and all I remember when there's come to heating point, we decided to bring in a graph of
arbitrator.
No, we just drink coffee, 5 to 6 cups, full cups, and almost is a contesting. Okay, what do we do next? But Peter was a character. We meet up in Tucson, Arizona, and eventually I even gone as far to want to learn more about Peter. I end up in Johannesburg, meeting up his old partner as a merchant marine, South African. And there's another story. but Brazil was fascinating up and down the regions of Bahia, Minas Gerais, Teoflotone, Valadares, and all the neighboring towns.
You have met a lot of people on the streets. I remember in one interview you said, like, this guy called Michael Jackson.
Right.
You gave him the nickname.
Yes, I gave him the name Michael Jackson, and also give it another one, Dollar. Because after, it's funny, when I go to buying stones, the nose stones, he said, Paul, you don't have to buy stones from me. Can you give me $1? I said, wait a minute, are you a gem dealer? Are you a bagger? He said, I just like to want to have $1 from you for my friend Paulo Chinese. So I gave him $1. But then in the middle of the 25 people, I say, his name is Mr. Dollar. He became Dollar. Even he died, I feel so sad because he became Dollar. Oh, I like that name. That make me rich. My name is Dollar. Michael Jackson is absolutely, he looks just like Michael Jackson. But he has this special agility. He was about 17, 18 years old. I saw many of them growing up even as a shoeshine boy to become a gem dealer. We gave him the Michael Jackson. The reason I asked him is that, Michael, people said, I can jump over the Volkswagen. I said, oh, come on, the little Fusca. He said, yes. I said, you can jump over it? I looked at Peter, I said, if you jump over, I'll give you $10. One instant, boom, he jumped over. And he did one of those Michael Jackson turns. I said, your name? So his name forever in that town become Michael Jackson. He got married, he got children. He's also known as Michael. You know, this is the part of the joy of the Latin culture or the Brazilian culture. We play, we joke. It's always pleasant.